Bambiz presents Elder Law Growth, the podcast that helps elder law and estate planning attorneys attract clients without wasting time or money. I'm your host, Jim Blake. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Elder Law Growth podcast presented by Bambiz, the team that helps elder law and estate planning attorneys grow their firms, fill their workshops, and connect with their communities. Learn more at bambiz.net. Today, we've got a fantastic guest with us, Irene de Jesus from Coastal Legacy Law. If you were at the Estate Planning and Elder Law Marketing Summit in Orlando, you'll remember Irene lit up the room as one of our featured speakers. But beyond the stage, Irene's been doing this work for over 15 years, helping families navigate elder law with clarity and compassion. We're going to talk about why estate planning attorneys should seriously consider elder law, how it's impacted Irene's practice, and what it takes to make the transition. So, Irene, I know a lot of our listeners saw you speak at the summit, loved your energy and insight. Before we dive into elder law, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey into this field, and what Coastal Legacy Law is all about, and maybe a little bit about what it felt like to be on stage at Summit too?
Yeah, sure. Well, let's actually start there because that was a blast. That was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. So I was a nurse first. I started out as a nurse and I'm about to be 62 next week. And for anyone that's in my age bracket, or I could be your parent, either one, you might know that back in the day, that's what we did, right? That's what women did. We either became teachers or we became nurses. And the only reason that I went to law school is because my husband did it. So that's how I met Hector. Hector was a nurse. I was a nurse. I was working in trauma. He was working in the ER. And he always had a dream to go to law school. And he did it, which then gave me the belief that I could do it. This is something I could do. So I did. Went to law school and had a blast. Loved it. I highly recommend going to law school when you're in your 40s. It's perfect. It's great. Nothing bothers you. And then started the law firm and love elder law. Elder law is my passion. It is my passion.
Love it. Now, have you always been in the Central Florida area, or where did you get started?
No, we started in Florida. Yep, that's where we started. But then, as life happens, we ended up moving to Tennessee for a few years. And so during that span of time, while becoming licensed in Tennessee, I traveled to Florida every month, and took care of clients, brought on new clients, managed clients, had interactions with them, their financial planners, once a month for a week, every month. Did that for a few years. And then due to health issues, my husband's family, they had significant health issues. So we moved back. Yeah. And then the firm's grown exponential.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's only 5 years ago at this point. So
I know.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Almost as we're recording, it's almost like 5 years to the day. So.
I know. Yeah.
So I kind of want to jump into a little bit, has it always been estate planning before then? And then what was the transition? What inspired you to move from estate planning into elder law?
Okay. So when I graduated from law school, the recession had just hit, right? Remember around 2013, right? 2012, 2013, kind of poop hit the fan. That's when I graduated. Good timing. Yeah. And so there was a lot of us who couldn't get jobs. Now, I'll just be real honest with you. There's no way at 50, homegirl was going to work for someone else. That wasn't happening.
Right.
And so I remember starting out doing family law. Ooh, that's painful. Yep. Nope. That lasted 10 months. Yep. Nope. And
it's so happy, right?
And it's so calming. And there's nothing litigious about it. Yeah. So, nope, that didn't last long. So then I went back to healthcare. I actually went back to healthcare, said, screw this. And I was an executive director for the entire East Coast region for a major hospital system. And then by this point, Hector had become a COO. So Hector was an attorney as well, right? He was an attorney first. He did what I lovingly call rent law. So anything that crossed the door jam, he would research it, figure it out, and do it. He got burned out. And then he went back to healthcare. He was a COO. I'm an executive at that point as well. We're empty nesters now. We're zesty nesters because the kids have graduated. And the two of us are working 16 to 18 hours a day for 6 days a week. What kind of crazy crap is that? And so I remember this is back in 2016. I decide, you know what? We don't need to be working this hard. And I decided to retire from healthcare. And we had our first grandbaby at that point. And I had this crazy notion that I was going to take care of the grandbaby. That lasted 3 months before I went insane. Don't judge me. Do not judge me. Yes, don't judge me. Okay. And so it was at that point in 2017, I'm thinking, good God, my student loans are coming due. And I'm like, holy crap, if I'm ever going to pay these things off, I guess I have to do something in law, like something. And so that's when I decided, okay, yeah, I'm not going to work for anyone. There's no way I'm working for anyone. And I'm 54 at this point. And so I opened my own law firm and I decided that I was going to do estate planning. Estate planning was what I was going to do. And I ended up loving it. I mean, absolutely loving it. I loved it so much that I was able to keep it going and productive while we were in Tennessee for a couple of years. And my husband was watching me do this going, Irene, you love what you're doing. Your clients adore you. Can I join your firm?
There you go.
And he did in 2019, just before COVID. Well, before we even knew there was COVID, he joined the firm. He died. He died in 2022. He had just turned 60. So I got the privilege, the beauty, the memories of being able to practice law in an area that I love with my soulmate.
Yeah.
And we both did. So elder law. So now it's June of 2020. We are in the middle of COVID. Our firm is completely virtual. And the founder of New Law Business Model is talking to all of us attorneys saying what she sees as a need across the country is elder law. Elder law attorneys, there's just not enough of them. And we have an aging population. Who's interested in doing this? Now, it's June.
Yeah.
In COVID. And Hector and I are like, yeah, we're up for a challenge. Let's do this. And so we did elder law. I'm a graduate of 2 elder law programs, and I'm a member of good standing in both. So I did the elder law college, and then I did, at the time it was elder council. Now it's wealth council, right? But so I've done both. And Hector did both with me. And it's a perfect fit. So that was in 2020. 2022, we felt ready to do the immersion boot camp with elder council. What was so good about that, Jim, was I think you can only grasp so much at a time. Even though we have big brains, I think we can only really grasp so much at a time. Going the second time, getting it from a different perspective, this time, whoa, did I ever understand Medicaid annuities so much better on a whole different level where I couldn't get it the first time. Like I just couldn't.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I do the same thing with even reading books. So it's like if I read a book once and I like the book and I go back to that book a year later and read the book again, it's almost like a new book, because
you pick up so much more
and you're picking up different things at different times.
So I'm so glad I'm part of both of them and that I'm active in both of them. The other reason is because it gives me a bunch of resources. So, you know how you mentioned Afella and Naila? I think as an elder law attorney, you need to be a member because you can get so many different perspectives.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
What were some of the big learning curves that you had? I mean, there's a couple, I mean, I'm assuming, okay, this is different, you know, what were
Yeah.
what were
It's
some?
for me, I think what attracts me to elder law is I see it as more of a long-term relationship. So yes, estate planning is, but what I really like about elder law is that I get to be with them during crises. In estate planning, I'm following them along. I'm meeting with them every 3 years. We're making sure their plan works. And so that's that every 3-year mark. And then when they pass away, things typically, usually, because we've got such a button down process, it's usually pretty smooth. It's a very smooth process when someone passes away. And then you're kind of done, right? When in elder law, it feeds more into my need and desire to become more involved with them. So we're meeting every year. It's not every 3 years. I'm meeting every year. So the challenges with that is now figuring out, how do I make sure that as the attorney, I'm using my time to its best and most efficient use, and that I have enough capacity to do this, and that I'm serving my clients well so that I can still bring on new clients and that Irene doesn't burn out.
No, that's the big thing too. Right.
Yeah. So even though I absolutely adore this and it just feels like a natural extension of me being a nurse, you don't have to be a nurse to do this. Like, you don't. Okay. And you don't need to adore old people, for God's sake. That's not what this is about either. It's about being there when they need you. Right. And then helping them navigate. So remember, we all know elder law is super, super complex. Well, okay, try navigating the healthcare system. So I did that. Jim, I did that with my husband for 4 months. In that 4 months, he had 3 separate brain surgery. We could never figure out what was wrong. Remember, we were both nurses.
Right.
We were both executives. We both know and have dear friends that are CEOs of hospitals, CNOs of hospitals, CMOs, the entire C-suite. They're our personal friends. Think of all the resources I had, and still in that 4 months, I am a warrior at his bedside, watching him die before my eyes multiple times, and I'm having to fight to get him taken care of.
Yeah.
So can you imagine what this could even remotely be like for somebody who doesn't know the healthcare system?
Yeah. You can't even imagine.
No.
No.
So, and then just as a little aside to that, I get to be an advocate, which is what I adore, is I get to be an advocate. And I've walked the path myself. And so one of the ways I advocated during this crisis for my husband is when we finally figured out what was wrong. He was at that point, at the end, he was intubated. He was completely comatose. And we finally figured out that he had a brain tumor that exploded. Prior to this, he was getting ready for his second Ironman.
Yeah, I remember you saying at the summit. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have never, ever in my life come near to passing out ever. But I did almost when the neurosurgeon told me the results of the MRI, because I knew we were done. It was done. And it was we were done. You know how we always talk about in estate planning and in elder law, we talk about those final documents, your living will, and what are your choices and who can make those decisions for you when you can't. Well, I got to do that. Like, I got to be the one that said, okay, it's time now. It's time. You fought a really, really good fight. We have both fought a really good fight. It's time to let this now come to a peaceful end. And so my request as advocating for both Hector and myself was I was going to stay in the room when they removed life support. And okay, doctors typically don't know how to be there for someone when they're in a crisis, right? That's how you get through. That's how you get through this.
Right. That's like a complete thing. Right.
Yeah. And they weren't going to let me stay in. And then I had the look of, yeah, you try to remove me. Good luck. And by the way, I'm not going to be in your way at all. You do what you need to do. My one request is when all the tubes are removed, I would like you to move Hector over just a couple of inches because I'm getting in bed with him. And I'm going to stay with him until his final breath. And so they did that. They did that for Hector and I. Some of you in the audience may have had your own personal experience with this. You also may have heard that there are often times that clients in this type of situation can have a rebound. They can have have you heard of that, Jim?
I think briefly, if you want to go into a little bit more, because
so
what I'm thinking might not be the right thing.
They come back.
Yeah.
They can come back for a very short space of time. And Hector did that. So it was Saturday that we removed life support. It was Sunday morning. He had this rebound. He knew exactly what was going on. He knew where he was. I'm in bed with him. Our grandbabies are there. Our family is there. And we're interacting. And then it lasted a few hours. And then he went back. He flipped back into a coma. And then he died. I was with him. He died Monday morning, October the 17th. He took his last breath. And I was there with him. I was with him. And there's not a time that goes by that I think to myself how proud he would be of me. And I can't wait till I get to see him again. And so that I can update him on everything that's happened since his last breath.
I know.
I think that he'd be super proud of our law firm, of our legacy, and me. I think he'd be super proud of me.
He definitely would. I mean, especially with the crazy amount of just growth and everything that you've had over the last few years. It's been great to see that. So
Thank you.
I appreciate you sharing that story. I mean, and I guess that was one of my questions there. I don't even know how to transition from that. I guess I'll try my best, but I mean, like all of this and the impact that it had on the firm, right? So it had an impact on the firm, right? And obviously the firm it must have, we didn't touch on that, but I'm going to make an assumption here that the firm was running at a point where you could do those things without having too much of an impact, I assume, on the firm, right? You were
inaccurate. Nope.
Inaccurate. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
But it did have an impact.
Oh my God. Okay. So total transparency. Okay. Because Homegirl has no filter, like none. This is your crusty old trauma nurse right here. All right. And so, no, this is 4 months of being a warrior with 3 brain surgeries and 3 separate episodes where he's dying before my eyes. And I'm managing a law firm. I'm bringing in new clients. I'm taking care of my current clients and I'm managing his clients. Yeah, it was a shit show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, outside, it didn't look like a shit show. Okay. I have an amazing team. My team, they are unicorns. Okay. They are amazing. And so I have a whole team, but at that point in time, Hector and I were the only attorneys. We didn't have other attorneys at that point in time. It was just Hector and I. So when you're bringing in business, you're the one doing it, right?
Yes.
So now Hector dies, right? Now we're into November and I can't make payroll. I can't. I mean, think about it.
No, I know. I mean, that's where I was thinking. I was like, well, it must have been okay because
no. And
so it wasn't okay.
No, it was not okay.
So that was kind of a linchpin then for the systems that I know that you have in place today.
Okay. So I'm a firm believer in that life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Then this whole segment of going through all this with my soulmate, and then I cannot make payroll in November. The team is like, Irene, we're here with you. And Hector was the one that had made us do key person insurance and meet with the financial planner. None of us knew he was sick, right? We had done this just under 2 years prior. We were in our mid-50s going, okay, yeah, we're in the grind of doing a small business, but we don't have any planning in place. I mean, as nurses, remember, we always had all that given to us. Like as business owners, we've never done it, right? And so Hector, I think we're 55, 56, whatever the heck we are. And he's like, we need to do this. So we do it. All right. Now it's November. I can't make payroll, but I know we've got insurance. Okay. Here's the kicker. This, I did not know this. Probably all of you know it. I did not know it. Doesn't matter what your insurance policy is. If you die before you've had the policy for 2 years, it is now contestable. So you have no idea if and when you're going to get the insurance. None. So I always recommend that you have insurance if you're a law firm, right? Because who of us has not gotten an email from your bar saying another attorney has died? They don't have any plans in place. Who would like to take this on pro bono? If you care that little about your practice and about your family, that you'll leave a shit show like that behind. So I firmly believe you need to have plans in place in case you die or you become incapacitated. Like, how incongruent is that if you're an estate planner and you don't have that in place?
Yeah.
And how
that's why
do you
people say like
go?
the cobbler's kid has no shoes. You know what I mean?
Like that's bull crap, right? And so anyway, so here we are. It's November. I can't make payroll. I just find out that we're in this contestable phase. So I don't even know if we're going to get insurance. But the team is, Irene, we're hanging with you. We're hanging with you and we're here. It's the first week of December. And I cannot make payroll again. There's no way I can make payroll. And my team is going, we have young children we got to feed. I don't think we can stay, right? And I get it, right? And so I had a really deep heart-to-heart conversation with myself. So remember what I said. I believe life happens for you. I need to go through crises. It's like I need a 2x4 to my head every once in a while because it just gets me straight. And so I had this really deep conversation with myself going, do I keep doing this? Is this worth it? Is it worth it to do this law firm? Or should I go back to healthcare? Or should I join another firm, be an attorney just at another firm? And what I came away with that conversation with myself was, if there's anybody I can bet on, if there is anyone that I trust to figure this out, it is me. And I was 59 and I'm like, I can do this. I don't know how I'm doing it. I haven't got a hot clue in hell how I'm doing it. But if there's anybody that can figure it out, and if I needed to blow it all up and start over again, I would, right? And then a week later, a very, very dear friend of ours reaches out and says, Irene, I don't know why, but it's been laid on my heart. I'm supposed to give you a bunch of money. And I don't know if you can use it or not, but here it is. And you can consider it a loan, but I don't care when you pay it back. And there's no interest on it. It was like the universe was telling me, you got to figure this out. Yeah, you need to figure this out. Once you decide what you want, it will then happen. But you've got to figure it out. And I have so many of those instances throughout my 61 years that I knew to trust it. Like I knew to trust it, right? And so sure enough, we did our typical. We closed down for 2 weeks at Christmas. We always do that, always. And closed down for 2 weeks, had a stellar month in the week and a half we had left. And then I go into, it's January of 2023, and I get this crazy idea that I'm going to build this practice, and I'm going to build it to 3 million in revenue a year. And I have no idea how I'm doing it, but I know that I'm part of a model. I've got the foundations. I've got the processes. I know I can do this. The piece where Bambiz comes in is, how do I figure out now the marketing piece of this, right? And then that's when you guys joined us, was a year later. And then look where we are. Oh, shut your face.
I know. It's been awesome to watch that. That's why I was like, I assumed that you had started that before then, but no, that was the catalyst to that change for you. And so as we're filming this, it's April 2025.
Yep.
What does your firm look like today?
Oh my God. Today? So the goal, so I planned it out, right? Because I don't like chaos. And so I knew that the goal for 2024 was we hit 1 million in revenue. We did. And then the goal for 2025 is we're going to hit 1.75 million in revenue. And we're going to do it. And then next year, the goal is to hit 2.5 million. And then the following year, we'll hit our 3 million in revenue. And what I want and what this is all built on is this firm that cares for its clients throughout their lifetime, that inside of the firm, we all feel that we each serve an important mission in part, and we feel tied to the firm, and the work that we do is amazing. And that this firm, even though it's growing, that it doesn't lose that personal touch. And I feel like we have such solid processes in place that we're pretty assured that will happen, even though in our growth. So, and then at some point I'm going to retire. I mean, who knows what else I'll go do.
No. And you're set up too. I mean, for the listeners, she's not the only attorney anymore.
And now all I do now is elder law. That's all I do. My associates, I've got to train them. They've been with me for a while. They see all the regular estate planning clients. They're going to be learning elder law, and I'll be transitioning next year to part-time. So I'll be the chief visionary officer. Ooh, total badass there. There is a lot that I don't do in my firm anymore. Last year was the transition. I hired a COO, and she's my right arm. She's amazing. I don't manage the team. I don't manage my calendar. Okay, I'm a slacker. It's freaking awesome.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, is there any final words that you would have for encouragement or advice for attorneys that are thinking about maybe adding elder law to their practice? Maybe their story is not quite like yours, but some final...
It doesn't have to be, right? It doesn't have to be. So I think this is just my thought on this one. A lot of people are afraid that AI is going to take over their practice. And there's parts of that are true, right? There are definitely parts of that are true. But what AI can't replicate, in my mind, is the service and care that you give to your clients, that there's an actual person there. So what that tells me is I'm not meant to have every client. Not every client is an ideal client for me. They're not, okay? Who's ideal for me is somebody that wants a relationship with a firm long-term, right? That's my ideal client. So that's who I focus on. I use AI appropriately in my firm. Like I might have white hair, but I'm still up on things, right? So it has its services and its purposes in it. But I do think that as you get your processes in place in your firm and You've got a team in place, and this thing is really humming along beautiful. I think you need to differentiate yourself from the other firms that are around you. And so, whether you're near retirement or you're like 30 or 40 and you're nowhere near selling your law firm, one of the things I've learned is in order for your firm to have value to someone else, you need to differentiate it. It is not differentiating it by saying your clients love you. That doesn't make you special. Okay. But what can make you special and stand out to other attorneys is I do elder law. Not only do I do elder law, I'm VA accredited. And then let's keep looking at that. What else can we add in here that's really differentiating this firm so that if and when I'm ready to sell the firm, I can now get multiples for this firm. Why? Because I've got such solid processes in place that I don't need to be working in the firm for the firm to be making money. That's number one. I don't have to work in order for this firm now to prosper. I don't. That's a good indicator that you got a solid business, right? And then number two, add something special to your practice like elder law, which for me, I love it because it's just fulfilling. I freaking adore elder law clients. And if you're going to be an elder law attorney, for goodness sakes, go get VA accredited. Because I can guarantee you in your neighborhood, there's not going to be many of you. And only VA accredited attorneys can help vets with asset protection for elder law. And didn't we just have a big conflict in 1992? So if you think they're all dying and they're not here, the vets are not here, you're sadly mistaken. You got a big potential. There's a big client base. Okay, that's Grandma Irene's advice for you. How was that, Jim?
No, that was great. And one of the things that we didn't mention that you kind of touched on there, and I'll just bring out just for a quick second too, is when you were talking about making your firm valuable without you. One of the things that I like to see, and you did it on your own, was you had a name change for the firm. Oh, and so, you went from being your name basically to now, it's not, right? It's this Coastal Legacy.
Yep.
And so, one of the things I like about that is because now the value is tied to an entity instead of you.
Exactly. That's going
to be beneficial for you at some point.
Massive. It's massive, right? So we embarked on a year-long process of rebranding to come up with what I felt like was the right name. Like it was a very well thought out, very diligent process. I wanted to make sure I knew what the name was going to be when I finally do leave. But
you picked a good name. That's a great name for where you're at,
I know, I love it. Coastal Legacy Law. Yeah, I love it.
Awesome. That's something that I always mention to people because, I don't want the value to be in, even with the company Bambiz, right? I don't want the value to be in me.
No, exactly. Exactly, Jim, right? And I think you need to be thinking early on about what is freedom to you? And does freedom have a number? Once you know what freedom looks like and you have a rough idea what that number is, if you're an entrepreneur, where are you going to get that from? It's your business. And then, like I said at the start, how many attorneys do we hear dying off, have no plans in place, and then they leave a shit show behind?
Yeah, or they have this valuable practice, but
they don't. They do not, because it can't survive without them, right? It's their name, and it's just them. Yeah. Nope. Don't do that.
That's a whole nother podcast episode.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But I'm very passionate on that stuff too, because it's like, it's not just something unique with law firms. That's any business, Then it's like, and I've seen it where I'm not going to name names, but there's firms that we've worked with and stuff in the past where it's like they want to retire or sell and they literally can't do one of those things. There's no value, and they've worked their whole lives to create a great practice that has no marketplace value, which is unfortunate. There's definitely some things that can be done to do that, and it's great to see you working on those. implementing those in your practice. So we'll go ahead and wrap this episode of the Elder Law Growth Podcast. Thank you, Irene, for being our guest today. If you're looking for inspiration and practical steps for growing your firm, this episode should light a fire. Enjoy today's conversation. Follow the show, leave a review. It helps more attorneys like you find us. Until next time, keep growing, keep serving, and keep showing up for your community. Thanks for listening.
That's a wrap on another episode of the Elder Law Growth Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things marketing for elder law and estate planning law firms. Here you can find all of the tools and skills you need to market your own practice without wasting your time. If you like this podcast, please leave us a review wherever you're listening. And if you're ready to take the pressure off and let our team handle your marketing, visit bambiz.net and book a free call with us today.